It is the 10-year anniversary of our opening up that gulag in Cuba. We had a base there, Guantanamo Bay base, and we decided to bring some fencing down there and some dogs, some extra barbed wire, just to show Castro, look, you think you can detain political prisoners? We'll show you what it's like to detain without taking people to trial. By Lakhdar Boudmedian in the New York Times just the other day, writing from Nice, France. On Wednesday, speaking about today, America's detention camp at Guantanamo Bay will have been open for 10 years. For 7 of them, I was held there without explanation or charge. I'm going to read a lot of this, folks. We'll link to it at majority.fm. During that time, my daughters grew up without me. They were toddlers when I was imprisoned and were never allowed to visit or speak to me by phone. Most of their letters were returned as undeliverable, and the few that I received were so thoroughly and thoughtlessly censored that their messages of love and support were lost. Some American politicians say that people at Guantanamo are terrorists, but I have never been a terrorist. Had I been brought before a court when I was seized, my children's lives would not have been torn apart. My family would have not been thrown into poverty. It was only after the United States Supreme Court ordered the government to defend its actions before a federal judge that I was finally able to clear my name and be with them again. And her story goes like this. In 1997, she moved to Bosnia and Herzegovina on behalf of her employer at the time, which was the Red Crescent Society of the United Arab Emirates, essentially the Red Cross, but from the UAB. She served in the Sarajevo office as Director of Humanitarian Aid for Children. I know, horrible. Just a horrible thing to do. Humanitarian aid for children. If it makes you feel better, I think a lot of those children may not have been totally white. But I think actually a good amount were. But certainly they may have been white, but a lot of them were Muslims. They, of course, these children had lost relatives during the violence in the Balkans. In 1998, she became a Bosnian citizen. After 9/11, the life that she had built for her and her family changed. She arrived at work on the morning of October 19th, 2001. There was an intelligence officer waiting for her. The United States had demanded that local authorities arrest me and 5 other men. News reports at the time said the United States believed that I was plotting to blow up its embassy in Sarajevo. I had never, for a second, considered this. Bosnia's highest court investigated the American claim, found that there was no evidence against me, and ordered my release. But the moment I was released, American agents seized me and 5 others. We were tied up like animals and flown to Guantanamo, the American naval base in Cuba. I arrived on January 20th, 2002. I believed my captors would quickly realize their mistake and let me go. I went on a hunger strike for 2 years because no one would tell me why I was being imprisoned. Twice each day, my captors would shove a tube up my nose, down my throat, and into my stomach so they could pour food into me. It was excruciating, but I was innocent, so I kept up my protest. In 2008, my demand for a fair legal process, 7 years later, for a fair legal process went all the way to the America's highest court. In a decision that bears my name, the Supreme Court declared that the laws and Constitution are designed to survive and remain in force in extraordinary times. In other words, there's no value to civil liberties if they do not function at times like in the wake of 9/11. There's no value to them. It ruled that prisoners like me, no matter how serious the accusations, have a right to a day in court. You understand, you cannot say there is a single terrorist in Guantanamo Bay until they have been convicted of terrorism. It makes no sense to say that. You can say they're accused terrorists, they're suspected terrorists, but they are not terrorists by definition. 5 months later, Judge Richard J. Leon of the Federal District Court in Washington reviewed all of the reasons offered to justify my imprisonment, including secret information I never saw or heard. The government abandoned its claim of an embassy bomb plot just before the judge could hear it. After the hearing, he ordered the government to free me and 4 of the men who had been arrested in Bosnia. I was freed at last on May 15, 2009. I do not like to think of Guantanamo. The memories are filled with pain, but I share my story because of the 171 men who remain there. Among them is Belkam Bensaya, who was seized in Bosnia and sent to Guantanamo with me. Boudmin was the lead plaintiff in Boudmin versus Bush. He was in military custody from Guantanamo Bay from 2002, 2009. I didn't read the whole piece there. But it's an abomination. And people should be mourning. People should be mourning on this day. There's a whole series of people like this. And I would imagine there were people, maybe there are people in Guantanamo who are terrorists or military combatants. But we don't know until they have a trial. And I would imagine there were people there who were not, and who were released and who decided to become it because they saw, if not the worst of America, pretty darn close. That's what makes people do these things. Pretty disgusting. So happy anniversary to all of you.